we're going to turn right now back to the issue of Syria. We want to turn to look at what is the latest right now with Syria, what you think a Trump presidency and a Hillary Clinton presidency would mean for Syria, and what President Obama is doing today. Professor Rashid Khalidi, Edward Said, professor of modern Arab studies at Columbia.
Well, there's a dynamic underway where the United States has, I think, actually had two policies. It's had the policy that the President and the Secretary of State have been trying to carry out, which is to try and bring about a ceasefire and a deal with the Russians. And we have the policy that you can call it the deep state, you can call it whatever you want. The people who are actually operating in Syria for the intelligence services and for the military have been following, which is basically to back some of the most extreme elements in Syria, al-Qaeda in particular, operating in Syria as the nusra, as Jabhat al-nusra, and directly undermining what the President and the Secretary of State have been trying to do. Many people would argue, there were several reports that the U.S. air attack on a Syrian army position in the Deir ez-Zor area, in which dozens of Syrian soldiers were killed, for the first time in over 2 years of American aerial bombardments of Syria, was actually deliberate sabotage. It was described as a mistake in targeting, but that's actually hard to believe. And there's no question but that I would argue we're in real danger that either Trump or Secretary Clinton, as president, would be much more likely to move in the direction that the war party is trying to pull us. Which is
Secretary of State John Kerry has actually said that Syria and Russia should be tried for war crimes.
He has. And there's no question but that what the Syrian government has done and what many of the opposition groups have done rise to the level of potential war crimes. But at the same time, I think he understands that there has to be a political resolution in Syria. He's not been successful in achieving it. I think these people who are trying to get us into a much more deeply into intervention in Syria really do want us to go right up to and perhaps over the brink of war.